Mike's not here, so we're gonna have some fun.
Let her rip.
All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Head in the Clouds. Today, you are stuck with just Alonzo and myself. So we are going to be talking about the things that we wish that we knew earlier in our career.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that can be said about this. And I had some difficulty trimming this down. I just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
That's honesty on both sides of the coin, Chris. For
right,
real.
right. So we're gonna be talking about the title says Tech Career Success Factors, Tech Career Secrets to Build Your Tech Career. And what better secrets to learn about any career building than what other people wish that they knew earlier in their career. So if you want to know how to advance your career or how to advance your tech career, if you're looking for those tech career mistakes, if you're looking for how to build your tech career, you can take everything that we're about to say and apply it to yourself. To be completely honest, I wish it had been easier for me to find this type of information earlier in my career. It's so easy to find information like this about how to build your tech career planning, all this good stuff. It's so easy to find it now. And I just wish that I'd had it at the ease that it's available now. And that's actually going to be one of my things that I'm going to talk about. So, but before we get started, I want to tell everybody about a couple of things. So we have 2 weeks from today, we have our Cloud Architecture Design Challenge. It's going to be a completely free opportunity for you to come and take part in a design session. We're going to present a business case. We're going to have a question session to determine what the needs of the business are, and then we're going to design a solution for that business case, and we're going to do it in real time. So this is the type of thing that we do on a regular basis in our classes with our students, but we understand that there's a lot of people out there that really don't have an idea of what goes into the cloud architect role or what cloud architecture actually is or what it's like to design a solution. So they don't really know what it is that they're missing, or they don't know what it is that they've got and they need to go get the job now that they know they got it. So we put these on periodically for you, completely for free. Tyrone's got the link for that in the chat box for you. Take advantage of that. Again, that's going to be 2 weeks from today. We're going to do that. It's going to be completely free. You can come and take part. You can volunteer to be part of the group that works on the solution, or you can just come in, observe, and just sit back and listen and see what goes into the process. That's going to be 2 weeks from today. We invite everybody to take part in that. No experience required, nothing necessary. Just come and have fun. Next thing I want to tell everybody about, since we're going to be talking about the things that I wish that I had known earlier in my career, why don't we go ahead and get this one out of the way? Why tech skills aren't enough to be successful. So that's not necessarily something that is on my list that I wish that I had known earlier, because those of you that are familiar know that I'm not a tech guy. I don't have a tech career. I'm an operations guy. I run the business. So, but this is something that a lot of people point blank tell us that they wish that they had realized earlier. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and get it out there. Get this free guide about why tech skills aren't enough. And yeah, so Tyrone's got that link there for you in the chat box as well. And then, of course, I want to make sure that everybody's aware of all the things that we've got coming up, all the things that we do. So make sure you sign up for our email list if you want to. You don't have to, but if you saw on the pre-show countdown, we've got our friend David Linthicum is going to be with us again next week. He and Mike are going to be talking about generative AI and cloud computing. That's going to be a fun discussion. Like I said, we've got our Cloud Architect Challenge. We do webinars. We do promotions. We do giveaways. We anytime we got a new guide or anything like that. If you're on our email list, you find out about it. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that stuff, sign up for the email list. Again, Tyrone has that in the chat box for you. So before we get started, Alonzo, you want to share anything with us?
Oh, yeah. It's always good hanging out with Chris. Mike's away. We're getting ready for this awesome summit that we're going to have in Orlando this weekend. I am excited about it. But until we get there, and all the other people who are not able to make it with us, I'm definitely glad to be here and talk about the things that I wish I knew early on in my career that would have helped shape me faster, or would have given me a more of a propelled trajectory into where I am today. But I'm always glad to see everyone. I see a lot of faces that I know, people that are new to the program. I'm hoping you all are getting a wonderful experience in what Go Cloud Careers can offer towards your cloud career goals. It's exciting to be here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about what would have helped me earlier on and who that would have helped shape me into who I am today.
All right. And Alonzo mentioned the conference that we've got coming up this weekend. I know we've had a lot of people ask us about the next one. There will be another one. We don't have the details yet. So sign up for that email list so that you find out about that as soon as it happens. Also, for those of you that did get in before the registration was over, make sure you read your email and make sure you read the Slack channel. I need you to do something. So, and there's lots, we gave all the details about what to expect coming up. We're going to have a lot of fun this weekend. So those of you that I know have not read that message, go read that message.
Yes.
Now, let us know where all you're from. We like to know where everybody's from. I see we got Angelo, Joseph in the Tampa St. Pete area. Howdy, neighbor. I'm here in Gulfport, the bottom of St. Pete, I guess you can call it. So good to see you. We got Houston. We got Raleigh, Durham. We got
Dearborn, Michigan. I am not too far from there, from the hometown perspective. So yeah, it's good to have you from Dearborn. That's definitely the headquarters of Ford. So I've gone past there many times.
Let's see if we know where anybody else is from. We got that's you. You're in Katy, Texas. Okay, all right. Mateus is in Virginia. I used to live in Virginia for a couple of years. We got Igor in the UK, Carl in Fort Collins, Colorado. Khadijah is in Maryland. Val is in Winnipeg, Canada. Can't wait to see you soon, Val. So, all right. Well, let's get going without any further delay. I'll let Alonzo kick it off. So, Alonzo. I know. So I've got your list here. So just so everybody knows, we did not do any preparation for this. We did not do any. We got each other's list. What was that? 30 minutes ago? Let me see. Yeah. I can't see. Apparently, I don't know where I shared this message. My message has disappeared. So we got our messages. We shared it with each other 30 minutes ago. Oh, there it is. Okay, 44 minutes ago, or 44 minutes before the show started. So all we know is what each other's list is. I have no idea what each person is going to say about it. So Alonzo, I don't know if yours are necessarily in any kind of order or anything like that, but let's go with the first thing. What's the first thing off your list you want to bring up?
Well, okay. If everyone knows me, being a cloud architect or leadership as being a chief marketing officer, my initial trajectory was in marketing, communication, visual design, and so forth. So before I even got into program management and ultimately into cloud architecture. So one of the themes that going back many moons ago, was being more confident as the new guy, as the young guy, as someone who did not have a lot of the prior experience. like all the other ones who have spent more time. They did commercials. They spoke to a lot of the senior executives, and they built that rapport and those relationships. I wasn't as confident because I felt like, number one, I'm extremely hard on myself. I may do 100%. What about that 101, Elonzo? What about that 102? Why couldn't you have pushed that envelope past that, specific goal or overall, experience? And I always want to make sure I'm doing better. So to your point, it always comes down to the confidence, making sure that I have a belief in myself, that what I'm bringing to the table is of great value, not only to myself, but to my team, to the organization that I'm with. Also, the value or having confidence to know that not only what I bring to the table today, I'm also capable of bringing great value to the table tomorrow and the following month and year thereafter. I am bringing, or I should have had the confidence to know that I'm going to be bringing value year after year, month after month, or whatever form that is needed to provide excellence for myself as a brand, as a team member, and for the overall organization of the company. So I wish I knew what that looked like. I wish I was able to understand how that could be applicable into how people perceive me. If I'm a confident guy, that means I must bring value, and not overall, how should I say it, not shying away from sharing that value with other people, so that it's not a form of arrogance, but showing that who you are is a valuable asset to the team. Because I tell you, if you're not confident in yourself, no one else will be as well. So always make sure that whether you're currently in you're further along in your career like I am, or you're just starting off in different facets, be confident in who you are, be confident in what you can provide, and be confident in knowing that whatever you do, you're going to provide that value for your team and the organization. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. And one of mine, I think, piggybacks right on top of that. And it's some people tend to have a difficulty connecting these two. And so I want to talk about mine real quick. And I know you'll see the connection directly immediately. So one of the ones on my list that I want to go back to back on yours is, it's okay that I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And the reason I say it's tied to yours is because what does that require?
Confidence.
That requires confidence.
Exactly.
So this is something that I thought early on in my career, and luckily enough, eventually I got out of it. I didn't get out of it quick enough. And unfortunately, I still see so many people struggle with this well into their career. And some people that just never get over it is that you don't have to know everything. You don't always have to be right.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
You don't always have to know the answer. And that's okay. So many people think that they have to know everything, and that and I thought this, that I had to know it all. I had to, or else why were they paying me? Why am I being paid if I don't know it all?
Yeah.
And that was something that I really, really struggled with early on and well into my career. And I really wish that I had known it earlier. But it ties into the confidence. I didn't have the confidence to be okay with not knowing it all.
Yeah.
I didn't have the confidence to be okay with not having an answer. And what's the flip side of this? If you're not okay with not knowing it all, and if you're not okay, I'm doing so many double negatives right now. My grammar teachers would kill me if they saw this. But if you're not okay with not knowing it all, and if you're not okay with not knowing the answer, then you're going to make up an answer.
Yeah.
What happens when you make up the answer and it's not right? And everybody else in the room knows it immediately that is not right. That is wrong. And you don't know what you're talking about. That there's no undoing that.
No. Yeah.
You're not going to get fired. You're not going to get fired right then and there, but that just damaged everything that you've worked for. And if you continue to do that, then you build a reputation of somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about and is completely full of garbage, and nobody trusts you.
Very true.
And then you become stagnant, and maybe you do eventually get let go, maybe not, but you're just in a position where there's no getting out of it.
No.
So your point of confidence tied directly into my I don't have to know everything.
Yeah.
I still don't know everything, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
And that it makes a lot of sense, Chris. It reminds me of that old quote: "Better to be assume that you're inexperienced or foolish than open your mouth and confirm it." So, like you said, don't just fill in the gaps just because you want to have an answer right away. A lot of, and it also stems to a lot of the interviews, or with you being a cloud architect, if you don't know the answer and you don't have that answer for that client, it's okay. Go and provide and execute the due diligence to get the right information in the right form for the right people. Even though you don't have that, it showcases your ability to desire to seek it out, be able to find the resources, the people who know more than you, and have the humility to know that you don't, but have the confidence to be able to say that I'm going to get that answer from the right people that I don't know about, and present it. It builds your brand. It makes you more confident because you had the confidence to go look for that answer, find the right people. Now you're edified by the same information as them, and now you look better for the client and also for leadership who needed that answer from you in the first place.
You want to know what one of my other ones is?
Shoot it.
Humility is an asset. You just said humility. Know when to be quiet.
Yeah, know when to hold them, when to fold them,
Yes. So another thing that I wish that I had known earlier, and you're going to notice a trend from mine. A lot of mine are a combination of what I wish I knew earlier and what I see so many people struggle with. Because these aren't like secrets. Like, these are things that almost every single person wishes they had known earlier.
True.
But being humble and having some humility, it is a tremendous asset, because everybody knows that one person that not just one person, but everybody knows that person that's always telling everyone what they did right, what they won, how they got over on somebody. Like, they're always bragging, always. If you're doing good and you're doing it right, you don't have to go out there and tell the entire world.
Nope.
Now, you do need to speak up and make it known, especially if you close a great deal that people have been struggling with for a while. Boom, brag about that one. But if you got up and made your bed today, don't be going out there and bragging about making your bed. But it ties directly into the knowing when to be quiet, which was it was funny that Alonzo took my thing and turned it into referencing humility, and now I'm right back right here about the being quiet. You learn so much more by being quiet and just listening, because the more you talk, the less you hear. The more you try to tell people stuff, whether it's verbally or it's in writing or any of this, the less you take in. That goes for reading, writing, speaking, listening. So knowing when to be quiet is critical.
Yeah.
And the more quiet that you are earlier in your career, the better, because you get to learn a lot, not only from people that know what they're doing, but also from people that have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
that.
I talk often a lot about how I've had some managers, I've had some bosses that I learned from them, but it's not that I learned how to do things. I learned how not to do things. So the quieter you are, the more likely you are to pick up on these things. So that was one of my other things about. So it kind of goes in hand with that. These beginning topics kind of snowball into each other. Alonzo starting with confidence, me starting with not having to know everything, and then going into humility. So I saw a comment here from Antaeus. Mike Gibbs quote, "I know what I know, and I know what I don't know."
Yep.
Exactly.
Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. And I'm going to do you one. I'm going to reciprocate that tandem, Chris.
Okay.
If we don't know, then who do we go to?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have to understand the value of networking. So if you don't know what's going on, say, for instance, you are working on a specific facet of networking, like you said, the value of networking, and we could be talking about actual networking. You don't know how you're going to be able to integrate networking within an architecture, and you don't know those answers. Then look for the people who do know them. That requires you, and I wish I knew this way back when, is to create a network of people that are smarter than you, that know more than you, that have more experience, have more competency, because you are defined by the circle you keep. So if you're able to expand your network, business, personal, vendor, anything that helps you to become a better team player, a better leader, a better asset to the organization, someone who's supporting your immediate manager's goals and aspirations, you're able to do that by fortifying your position with quality people, experienced people, and those that can help you get those answers faster, and by proxy, help you become more intelligent, help you become more of a valued team player, because that requires a modicum of building relationships, being able to speak to these people and say, my name is such and such, or tell you what, I need some help. Could you help me? And I would love to be able to help you in return. Or any of these, any other ideations that you can about not just coming to someone because you need them, but coming to them and helping them grow as well, making it reciprocal, building those relationships through friendships, increasing that value about how you're able to do things for them as well as them doing it for you. So going and circling back around, networking is very key because, like you said, I know what I know and I know what I don't. So I go find the people who do know about these things, and being able to build an experience based upon them knowing me and leaving things better for it, whenever that project is over, by saying, here's a gift card on me, here's dinner on me, here's whatever, so that every time you come around, it's not a me, but it's going to be a we.
Yeah, you did a better job of me on that. On my list, I've got it was a little long-winded, but falls on the same line. So on my list, it was, there's much smarter people than me.
Yeah.
Take advantage of. So let's not take advantage of them, but utilize them. They're there. Whether it's a mentor or it's coworkers, learn from them. Not just from what they're good. I mentioned this earlier. Not just learning from them about what they're good at. Learn from their mistakes. Learn from their experiences. Network with people. find out information, whether it's about another customer or a client, or you're dealing with somebody and that so and so in the other department has had to deal with this same person, or maybe it's just you find out some information that's helpful to them. It all goes back to that networking thing, and it just goes back to my first point of I don't have to know everything.
Right.
There's these other people. It really is. It all goes back to that concept of I have to be the only one. I have to be the one that has all the answers. That's not the case.
Yeah. And that does stem from humility. It's like, okay, is it pressure or is it just a desire to be a one-man show, which is never going to be successful? And it stems back to what Mike says. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That requires a strong backbone, a strong support system of qualified people. And like you said, Chris, it's not that we're taking advantage of them, but we're maximizing and optimizing their presence so that we can be beneficial to them and the people around us. Like you said, mentorship, learning from their mistakes and their experiences so that you can be where they need to, where you want to be. And that's why I love being around people that know more than me, because I want to get better. I don't want to stagnate in there. And where there's comfort, there is a lack of growth. And we all, no matter what our competencies, we have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, being in spaces where I don't know the answers, and having the fortitude to go look for them in the right ways and in the right spaces.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said here, and another component of this, right alongside there with the humility, is the pride. A lot of it is tied up into pride. Whether it be I've invested this much into my education. I blah 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 blah. There's pride there. I've worked this hard and done this. I should know blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, there's pride there. So there's two sides of that coin. Two sides of the same coin in my eyes. It's the pride and the humility. Because if you're too prideful, then you're not gonna. If you're too prideful and you don't have the humility, you're gonna think that you have to know everything, and then therefore you're gonna try and know everything, and then you're not gonna ask anybody for any help, and then you're gonna take on all the burdens, and then you're gonna fail.
Yeah. And no one wants to know it all on the team. If you're looking to eliminate yourself out of teams, team options, or say, for instance, a management consulting firm, and your project is over, no one wants to be on the bench. But if you're known as someone who's a know-it-all and cannot work with others, you may be there a lot longer than you'd like, because people don't like those type of people on in the team at all.
Yeah, and I'm going to take this one to one of just taking this another step. Like I said, I actually got some things that I see a lot of people struggle with, and they don't even realize that it's happening, and it's what's holding them back. And one of those things is falling into the trap of thinking that you're owed something, or that you deserve something.
Yes.
Yeah. And that all goes back to the pride. And this is not a generational thing. This is not a age thing. This is not a gender thing. This is just across all the spectrums. People tend to fall into a trap of I deserve and fill in the blank, or I'm owed and then fill in the blank. That's not the case. We are owed and we deserve what we agree to.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And what happens is people develop expectations based on things that they do that are not part of anything else except their expectations.
Yeah.
So while I'm one of the first people that will encourage people go above and beyond. Go above and beyond. By all means, go above and beyond. Don't kill yourself. Don't drive yourself into the ground. Don't drive your family away. Don't drive your friends away. Don't wake up and go to work and come home and go to sleep. Don't do that. But go above and beyond reasonably, and you should reap the benefits. Now, conversely, because you've gone above and beyond does not mean that you are owed.
Yeah.
And it does not mean that you deserve. That's where we switch from the going above and beyond to going above and beyond and having set expectations that nobody else is aware of.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's a tricky slope because a lot of people, especially in the past couple of years, they talked about the whole quiet quitting thing and the quiet firing, and now it's loud quitting and loud firing. I don't know what's going on. It's just basically, so, I read a lot about the quiet quitting thing, and apparently it was people claiming that they're just doing the minimum, what they're expected to do. Okay, great, good. If that's what you want to do, then that's where you'll stay.
Yeah. You're not hurting anyone but yourself.
Right.
Let's be clear.
So, if you're doing what's expected of you, if you're doing what you agreed to, okay. If you're going above and beyond, okay, great. Doesn't mean that you're owed or deserve anything. And I see so many people fall into that trap. Luckily, I didn't have this. I didn't do this. I never had this. I never had this thought process. But I see so many people have this thought process, and it gets them in bad spaces. It gets them in bad places. It puts them in positions where they start to form resentments. They start to resent their boss. They start to resent their coworkers. They start to resent their customers. They start, and it just becomes this cycle of turmoil. Maybe not overbearing at first, but eventually it will, because they've formed these expectations and they start to form these resentments, and they start to no longer like what they're doing, and they start to hate, and everything's turned into this is viewed through this tinted filter of, I deserve this. Nobody's recognizing. I'm not valued. So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's situations out there where everybody does exactly what they're supposed to do, and they're treated like crap. I get that. I'm not saying that's not a case, but what I'm talking about here is everything is going hunky dory. Everything's all Mary Poppins and happy and go lucky, and you start to expect things that aren't realistic and aren't part of the environment that you're working in, and it turns people unhappy, and that's one of the things. And that just creates a chain reaction. I'd be interested to see hear what your thoughts are there, Alonzo. If you've seen that, maybe you haven't. I don't know, but
I've seen that, and it goes right back to, you're only as good as your last victory, and not to rest on your laurels. And what you're saying stems to pride. It stems to, like you said, a self-entitlement. And I've seen it when it's reflective of certain certifications that people have gotten or certain places where they've worked, and they feel like that type of continuous victory lap, if you will, is owed to them everywhere they go. And I find that to be they're really alienating themselves to possibilities, opportunities, people who are willing to work with them so that they can achieve more, and they become their own stumbling block, if you will. So it's who you are and what your accomplishments are. Yes, celebrate them with humility, celebrate them, or even better, let other people celebrate you. Okay, because if your value is as good as you say, people are going to know it without you pretty much to the point parading it around in other people's faces. Team members don't like that. Leadership don't like that, because no matter what's being said, no matter what's happening, teamwork above all, solidarity, the ability to synchronize with other assets within your organization so that the group can excel, is focused on what you are individually contributing for the greater good of the organizational goals. So no one wants to talk about, well, last project or last compensation review or last this or I did that, me, which is what underscores what Chris is saying, has no value for today, and it's not going to help carry you tomorrow. Being a cloud architect in all its forms and all its facets, what are you doing today? How are you creating opportunities for the group? Are you doing lunch and learns based off of what you know so that everyone can be edified by your education, experience, and competency? Are you doing any of these things? Are you asking your team member or any of your teammates, how can I help you? Are there any things? Is there a gap analysis on things that I'm doing or not doing? How can I be a valued asset today, this quarter? What can I do next week? Providing these type of offerings is what provides value, not the accolades that you've done in the past. So underscoring what Chris is saying along with what I'm saying, it's very important that people don't focus on your pride. Don't focus on your certifications. Focus on how you're bringing value each day moving forward. And that's how you're going to be a winning teammate and an asset for the organization. So it's nothing that I've done in the past, but it's definitely things that I've seen other people rely on, and it didn't serve them well long term.
Yeah. So, so all of this discussion, I'm going to circle back to what I said at the beginning, and then I'm going to steal a couple of points from Alonzo here because I'm about to make a big snowball. So, I'm talking about the don't fall into the trap of feeling like you're owed or you deserve a promotion. You're owed or you deserve that raise, or you're owed or you deserve a bonus that is not laid out in writing. If it's laid out in writing, if it's part of your official compensation package, then you're owed or deserve it, obviously. But don't fall into the trap of feeling like you're owed or deserve to this new opportunity that's presented itself, that this position has been created. You're owed or deserve that promotion. You're owed or deserve that transfer opportunity to a better role. You're owed or deserve that vacation. You're owed or deserve that, and beyond the what you agreed to. You're owed or deserve anything than what is part of your responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Now, as I said, I do agree with going above and beyond. I do agree with working hard. I do agree with documenting every single thing that you do. And Alonzo said that in his list. And I said, keep track of my achievements and my accomplishments, because nobody else is. Mm-hmm. No one else is. And that's why it's important not to fall into that trap of I'm owed or I deserve. Because, yeah, your boss or your manager is responsible for performance reviews, which in theory means that they're tracking your progress through the course of a year. Oh, okay, sure. Sure, they're tracking your progress for 365 days a year. Sure. They're tracking your progress the 2 weeks before reviews are finished. That's when they're tracking your progress. They're going to go look in the computer and do a quick search and be like, oh, yeah, here's a couple of things that Chris did. They're going to go on their memory. Oh, yeah, Chris did this thing. Okay, all right. No, document what you've done. Document what if you've improved something, if you've optimized something, if you've helped something, if you've done something. And then use all of that to your advantage, because nobody else is going to do it. You have to watch out for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And so it's the other side of don't feel like you're owed or deserve anything, but do keep track of everything that you've done, and keep track of everything that you've accomplished and everything that you've. And so whether it's because you're going to use it when that performance review comes, you're going to use it when that other opportunity presents itself in the company and you want to interview, or you just want to have a casual conversation with that department head that's parallel to your department, or you want to use it to go and talk with a recruiter because you realize that you need to change companies. I know I stole one of your lines, but they tied right into what we were already. It went on the flip side of what we were talking about, because you've got to document everything. You have to.
Yeah.
And do it when it happens.
Yes.
Because
very true.
And the reason I say this is because almost everybody tries to rebuild the resume when they're ready, when they're done, when they're fed up, when they see this thing that they want to do. They hadn't looked at their resume in a year and a half, 3 years, 5 years. If you're not keeping track of what you're actually accomplishing, then you can't use what you've done to your advantage. You're going to be doing that same thing that manager that's supposedly tracking your progress does. Oh, what did I do? What did I do the past 2 years? Let me check my emails. Yeah, that's what I did. But how did I do it? What did I do? What all went into that? Yeah. No, do it in real time. Do it in real time. It's critical. Document everything. I want to hear your thoughts about that one, Alonzo.
You have really hit the nail on the head.
Especially if you go above and beyond.
Especially because it's not enough about what you did. You have to provide that quantitative information, percentages, details matter about how you have helped not only support, but how you've leveraged your skill set. These are the things that you're going to bring back about how you want that promotion, how you want that incremental raise, and so forth. So don't broad brush your skill set. Don't broad brush your contributions. Get incremental. As cloud architects, details matter. And the same thing about how you document yourself. So when everything happens, these are some of the things that I've been taught. And what that would be is called a brag book, is a lot of your key contributions. What kind of certifications did you get? How did you leverage your knowledge for the department, for the organization, for everyone that can benefit from your skill set? How was it done? How did you leverage it? In what projects did you leverage? What changes were made because of your contributions? What type of things were avoided? How did you leverage any of this thing proactively, reactively? These details are, you don't have to share this information with anyone, but what you can do is look back on what you've contributed, how, when, and where, to what degree, and what your influence or what the overall result was. It helps you with your confidence. It helps you with your trajectory on what type of career you want for yourself. It helps you to see how what you're doing aligns with the organization that you're working with. If there's things that you see that are a discrepancy and you want to consider other opportunities as a cloud architect or those facets, think about what you're doing and how it could be beneficial elsewhere. But overall, manage your career, because no one else will. No one else is going to sing your accolades, but you're going to be in in a better position by looking back at your documentation the moment that you do it, lay it out so that, like you said, those emails may not be there. And what Mike always illustrated was someone attempted to take over, or rather try to seize the accolades of what he did for that particular architectural project. And it took someone else to look at it and see they weren't there. How could you do this if you weren't applying X, Y, and Z documentation to fortify your position that Mike had already done himself because he was there? He had the travel documentations to prove it. He had his signatures on the documentation of that architecture that provided or substantiated his claim. So you do it to showcase your skills, be more confident. And there's an acronym called CYA. I won't illustrate that here, but it also protects you from those who may not have your best interests at heart. And you need to always shield yourself, protect your investment as someone who's valued in the organization, manage your brand, and overall create a trajectory for yourself based upon your team supported skill sets that help move the organization forward. So there's a lot of facets that we can take, but it all overlaps. If anyone knows about a Venn diagram, it's these overlapping circles. The subject matter is relatable, and it helps you to frame who you are as a professional.
Yeah. Igor put something here in the chat box. He says, Chris, you don't understand that because you're from a specific good environment. A lot of businesses punish for hard work, so people react for that. When business reward for work, people behave differently. So, yeah, I think I do understand. I worked for a company for the better part of a decade. And did everything I was supposed to do. Went above and beyond. And guess what I got? I got more and more and more. Guess what I didn't get? More and more pay. Of course, I got some. I did get some increases in pay. Let's be fair, but not nearly commensurate with what I was doing. And so, yeah, I did not, but I didn't fall into the trap of feeling like I was owed. I realized what was happening.
Yeah.
I realized it. I was like, oh boy, this is what's happening. And I was in a situation. I was in the Mississippi Delta. The Mississippi Delta is the most impoverished part of the United States. The town just a couple of counties over from me when I was born did not have running water. There was no indoor plumbing in the 1990s. And so I was in a place where I was getting paid good for the place. I had some obligations in the area, so I had to stick around. So I took and kept taking. So, but again, I didn't fall into the trap of feeling like I was owed or deserved something. And I'm speaking about the owed and deserved because the comment came in 15 minutes ago when we were talking about the feeling like you're owed and deserved. But that's where I unfortunately learned too late, the importance of documentation and keeping track of my accomplishments. Because by the time that I left there, was basically running a company with a valuation of over $100 million. And ended up taking a general manager job of a single property to get away. If I had done a better job of documenting my accomplishments in that role as assistant director, what ultimately became the assistant director of operations and director of development, would have been in a much better position when I chose to leave that opportunity. So circling back, based on my experience, unfortunately, that was the better part of a decade that I did not document my accomplishments and what I was able to do for the company. Of course, I had a few things that I could cherry pick and pull some things from memory and from email. But going back to what Alonzo was saying, all the ins and outs and all the specifics of it, because I didn't document them in real time while they were happening, it just kind of went to the wayside. So just document everything and use it to your. And the reason is to use it for your benefit, not necessarily the CYA part of it. That's a byproduct of it, but the goal is for your benefit, for your growth. And there was another comment in here from Telvon related to that. Yeah, some companies do overwork good workers by overworking them and underpaying them with no incentives, and that's why you got to document all of your accomplishments so that you can, boom, jump off, get to the next opportunity. Exactly. And prove your accomplishments when you're going to that next opportunity. But I think, I wanted to answer this. When would you bring up your accomplishments when it comes to your career?
Comp time. Comp time. There's two things that I would say is, well, rather maybe three. The first one is when it's time for raises and so forth, or if you're looking for a promotion. That's the first one. Number two is if you don't want to leave, or rather you plan on exiting the organization, and there's probably an exit interview that you would have, and then you can provide, this is what I've provided for the company, but unfortunately, this is also the justification is why I'm leaving the company. And number three is when you want to provide or present your value to a hiring manager about why you should why you vie for this position. So those are the three times that I would say it. I would never toot my own horn. Let your efforts speak for themselves, because when you're good, people are going to do it for you. They're going to talk about you're going to be the SME at this position, or rather, you're the architect that everyone wants on the team. You'll never be on the bench. I had this value, or this project went very well because of Telvon. He provided this, that, and the other. That's going to be your own grassroots advertisement for everyone else, especially for key players who people want to work with. And also, their peers are going to want you on their team because of the accomplishments that they've heard about you in passing when it comes to an email, some sort of town hall meeting, or whatever. So those are the three reasons why I would verbalize or present my accomplishments to people. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the when would I bring it up. What I want to focus on is the ability to bring it up, and that's what. So I'm speaking from my experience here. That because I didn't document what I was doing, even if it didn't have any grand 26% increase in blah, 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 even if it just maintained and just better, like I created an entirely new employee handbook for a company that didn't have an employee handbook for 24 years. I didn't really necessarily, there's not much to be able to point to statistically. But if I had documented how I had done that, if I had, and I'm not saying like a full blown out 50-page report. I mean, the employee handbook itself was 76 pages. So I'm not going to write a 50-page report about how I created the employee handbook. But I'm going to have that, and I'm going to have it documented because I want to be able to talk about it if the opportunity presents itself. And that's just one example. Another example is, if most of if you're familiar, I was in hotel development and worked and did new builds and new constructions. I truly wish that I had documented in detail all of the things that went into each of the new builds and each of the new constructions. The amount of stakeholder management that I had to do, the amount of assuaging concerns and alleviating pressure, and how I did these things, whether it be with between the investors and the owner, the investors and the general contractor and the brand management. If I truly wish that I had documented those much better than I did, so that I had the ability to be able to talk about it. If you're in our program, you'll probably, and you've run into me enough, you'll hear me talk about preparation, practice, and preparation. If I don't document what I've done and I'm not familiar with it to the degree to be able to encapsulate it into a 30-second sound bite, then it's not of any value to me. And that's what we're talking about here. So Alonzo hit it pretty good about when to bring it up, performance reviews. You see a new opportunity, you want to introduce yourself to somebody that's related to that opportunity. And you put yourself in a position of to have a conversation with them, and you've got that ability to talk about it. If it presents itself in that conversation, great, boom, utilize that. If it doesn't, just keep it there in your back pocket till the next time. Get their email address, get their phone number, and call them for lunch in a week or two. And presents itself again. So Igor says he's not talking about documenting. A lot of the company has, they won't put these in written policies. But if people do 120% next year, 120% is the 100%. Yeah, you mean like that hotel that hit the highest year ever in the 30-year history of the hotel, and that their budget is to be 105% of that next year. Yeah, ran into that every year. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You're what you achieve sets you up for what you got to beat. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Now, I will say there's a difference between, let's say, a line level, like when I was working as a short order cook on the grill, or when I was working on the farm, or when I was working at the front desk in the hotel. There's a complete difference between, yes, they if you go above and beyond in those situations, you're going to get chewed up and spit out. You truly will. Warehouse workers, assembly lines, these types of roles, it's an unfortunate byproduct of the system. And that's where I go back to the don't feel like you're owed anything. You got to find what works for you. But in more, I guess you would call them exempt type roles, like your salary roles, your customer facing client roles, commission-based roles, these types of things. Yeah, you're gonna have some of the same system, but it's not going to be nearly as chew up and spit out type situation.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to say that. But Alonzo, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do. It's what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense. So, from what Igor is saying, it's like, okay, if you're throttling at 120%, and maybe that's a burst to you or a burst to him, like you said, they're going to want to expect that 100% of the time. But in those particular roles that you had mentioned, it's because of the impact of what that collective effort is doing in those warehouses and everything else, then there's certain benchmarks that they're looking for. So you have to be careful to be able to pace yourself and do what you can do. You know, it's collectively, everyone has to work towards that X amount of percentage over the 100% to meet goals for whatever departmental execution that they're looking for. They're looking to do this, that, and the other. Never put it on your shoulders to carry the whole team to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So do only what you can do. And also spend a portion of that time to focus on skill sets that can get you out of the environment altogether. It may take a little time for you to do so, but, and this is not to take away from the efforts of what people in those industries are doing, but they know that they can apply pressure towards those people because there's a larger pool of people looking for those positions. There's a larger pool of those that they can push and ultimately easily replace, just like a fast food chain. If people are not happy there, there's going to be plenty of people that they can put in their place. If you overwork yourself, you have to be careful about why you're doing it. Is it a short and long-term goal? If it's just to meet those specific next quarter goals, are you going to be sustainable? Is that sustainable for you as a career? If not, then you need to rethink your execution about why you're pushing yourself so hard. So these are a few takeaways as to, are you able to keep pushing that 120%? If not, then ask yourself why, and do you have an exit strategy to go where you feel you're valued and where you're going to be compensated for that extraneous execution?
Yeah. Alonzo, I feel like that there was something on your list that's not there anymore. Did you have something about value, know your value at one point? Or was that something that I had on my list that I took off? Because that's a perfect thing that needs to be talked about. Like this, that's part of this conversation. I don't know if it was on your list or if it was on my list at some point and got taken off.
It may have been taken off your list because I know we had a tremendous amount of parallels for that. Yeah. But it definitely goes to understanding your value. Know your worth. Yeah. Know your worth. Know your worth. That substantiates your confidence. It substantiates that with documentation. It substantiates what people are saying about you and how you're helping others, even if you're not helping and it's not verbalized by your team member. What you do for your teammates still matters. Still document that, even if you can't pull that proverbial card at a promotion or a skip level or some sort of annual review. Think about how you've helped your team. If there's someone who needed to meet a goal and they're not doing so well, how are you helping them? If there's someone who is sick or had to take some sick leave, or they're on vacation, but something came up that threatened their performance or their perception of performance while they're away, and you stepped up to help them, put that in your personal book. This showcases that you're a team member, you're a team player, things of that matter. Because again, we always underscore, no one is going to sing your accolades better than you. And if they do, that's a problem. But realistically, they never are, because they're going to take it for granted. That's the reality of it. No one is going to value you like you. So if you're able to underscore, document, put these into a qualitative and quantitative fashion in some written form, showcase this stuff. Always do that. But always, more importantly, make sure you're in a position that your company understands its value, at least the very minimum, your manager that you work immediately under, so that they know what you're bringing to the table without having to verbalize it, if that makes sense.
Yep. And I know you got some points that I think might tie to Silent Poet's comment here. Silent Poet says, earlier this year, I got a promotion in duties, but not in pay. 3 months later, I was asked why I was leaving my position because another company offered me much better position with the pay. I think you've got a point or two on your list that might go towards that.
Absolutely. You're not going, if I can't cash that promotion, I can't bring that promotional value to my wife and says this is going to help my family. You're just, if you're focused on, anyone who knows the value of promotion knows the compensation goes even higher than that particular title. I can't take that title to the bank. I can't cash it. I can't do anything with it, but it definitely benefits that company because with that promotion comes more responsibility, more work. Okay. So why is that promotion for me or is it for the organization? So I think you made a great move, Poet, because no organization, if they were valuing you, they would have put that compensation right behind that title as well. And you made the right move. And especially, I'm glad that you didn't stay as a means of them countering what opportunity that you had outside the company, because if they would have valued you the way that they should have presented it there. So let's look at the negotiation points of that. And it goes right back to the valuation of your brag book. When they offered you that promotion without the pay, tell them this is the reason why I deserve the money and the value, because I'm giving you X amount of things. On this date, I provided this, and it saved or increased the profitability of this organization by a percentage. There's money that's going to the company, and that's value that's because of me. These are the things that you can show to justify why that pay goes with that promotion. You're always negotiating. Life is a negotiation. I negotiate with my wife. I negotiate with my kids. You're going to negotiate at work. If you're on a cloud architectural project, you're negotiating. If you're if you're a cloud architect who's focused on the internal portion of the organization, you're negotiating with people who may be in silos. If this overall goal for this future state for this project or this architecture is going to benefit more people, more facets of the business over others are going to want to negotiate why this is going to help me, or rather why, or what are you going to bring to the table to offset why more of this is going towards this facet of the business over their department. Negotiations will always be a part of life. It's going to be a part of a cloud architect's life, whether it's cloud security, cloud networking, big data, enterprise architecture, principal, or whatever. Negotiation is a part of life. So taking it back to you, to that situation, Poet, always be prepared to negotiate, because it's not what you deserve, it's what you negotiate.
And I venture to guess that, well, they may not have, but when you told them that you were leaving, they might have offered you something at that point.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you didn't take it.
That's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to many of people. When you when you say, okay, I'm out of here, they throw the kitchen sink at you. And you have to going back to knowing your worth. If they truly believed that you were worth it, they would have acknowledged it prior. Another one of the points that I want to talk about, and a lot of people may look at this as a luxury. I looked at it as a luxury at the time. Hindsight is 2020. And I know a lot of you will probably not agree with me. Give yourself 10 years, you'll agree with me.
Hopefully sooner.
It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
It is absolutely okay to say no. You don't have to do everything. Somebody ask you, I'm going to silence poet. I'm going to use you as an example. I don't know your exact situation. I don't know the exact details. But in many circumstances, you could have said no to that situation. You may not feel like you can say no to it, but you can. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no when people offer some type of promotion and duties, but no commensurate adjustment in pay. Now, I've seen situations where people are offered additional duties with the probationary period of 3 months from now or 6 months from now. If you're performing these appropriately, then XYZ, whatever you negotiate will take place. Okay, all right, that might be a case, but it's okay to say no if you don't have the ability to do whatever it is that's being asked. Maybe it's not new duties, maybe it's not new responsibilities, maybe a colleague is asking you to help them with something, maybe someone in another department, maybe a head of another department is asking you to help with something, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to make me look great, this is going to go above and beyond, I'm going to deserve X, Y, and Z at the end of this. Maybe you're not able to do it. Maybe you don't have the bandwidth to do it. You can say no. Absolutely okay. The more things you don't say no to, the more stuff you're going to have to do because you said yes. So by no means am I suggesting that you say no. No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that you need to, going back to things that we've talked about, you need to know your worth. You need to be confident. You've got to have some humility, drop that pride a little bit, and be okay with not saying yes to everything because you feel like it's going to get you somewhere. Because eventually it'll get you somewhere. And that's in the bed because you're exhausted and you got no energy. You can't do any work. You stop taking care of yourself. And now you're sick. Don't know if Alonso's got any thoughts on that one. That's a big one. That's a big one for me.
I definitely agree. You can't do everything. By saying no, you can avoid particular inadvertently picking sides in the workplace that could put you in a bad light. Saying no could help you avoid any unethical movements or situations that may put your job in jeopardy. Saying no is definitely going to eliminate you wearing yourself down to the nub, working on things that probably are although they may be beneficial to someone, it may not be totally beneficial to you. It may put you in a compromising position. Saying no will protect you across the board from a lot of different things. Now, mind you, we're not saying no, don't be helpful, or no, don't add value to the team, but we're saying drawing the line helps to protect yourself from situations that could be harmful to your health, your career, your mental health, and so forth. There is a friend of mine who worked for a specific consulting firm, and they flat out asked him to lie. He wouldn't do it. Unfortunately, it put him in a position where he had to leave that organization. But for the sake of ethics, for the sake of your brand, for the sake of your trajectory, you may be in a position where you have to say no. You have to draw the line because it will hurt you in the long term and quite possibly may implicate you in a situation that could cost you your career and your job. So you have to learn how to navigate your career by learning when to say yes and especially when to say no.
Let's use an example that I'm sure 50 something people are familiar with right now. It's okay to say no to the recruiter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's okay to say no to the job opportunity that you are absolutely not ready for.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay. It is in your best interest.
Yeah.
In that same vein of the it's okay to say no. I want to talk about change.
Big part of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be afraid of change. Things are going to change. The job that you started is going to change by next year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not massively. Maybe your boss is gone. Maybe a colleague is gone. Maybe that colleague left and you had to take on their project. Change. Maybe the company gets bought out. Change. So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of new things. Don't let it frighten you or scare you into anxiousness or concern, something that you're dwelling on, because it's not good for you. And that's just, and again, it's constant. Change is constant. So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of new things. Embrace them. Use them as opportunities to grow. And then add those things to your list.
Yeah, I think that says a lot. Let's emphasize that again. I run across a lot of the students who are really excited about moving forward in their career, and they may come across an opportunity that they feel will never happen again, but they are not prepared to take on that role. This is a good example of saying no, not being rude or shutting down the opportunity, but still saying, I am not ready to take on this role. However, I would still like to stay in contact with you. So once I am ready, I want to be able to continue building this relationship with you for any opportunities moving forward. Because if you jump the gun, you ruin that opportunity, not only for that position, but you also may damage that potential relationship with that hiring manager. And we never know who they know and what company that they're working in, or they may find another opportunity somewhere else in a company that you really want to work with, and you may come across them again. So again, Chris had just mentioned and underscored, don't rush yourself. We all are excited about what the future can bring. We always mention the possibilities of what your salaries can be, where you can work, how you can get there, the people you'll meet, the things you'll do, the places you'll fly. But none of that will matter if you jump the gun or you're ill prepared to take on that role. So focus on your fundamentals. Work with your fellow students. Look at the articles that you're posting. How are you building your brand out there for people to see you? What are you talking about? Are you a thought leader, or are you echoing what's already in the article? It's those type of things that help you to build your competence, to help competence and confidence, if you will, so that once, even if you say no to that opportunity, you're going to be in a better position to take on even greater roles. So just don't rush. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, to continue that discussion, and it's going to sound completely counterintuitive. At the same time that I'm going to say don't rush yourself, make sure you make maximum use of your time.
Yes.
You don't have a lot of it. So don't rush yourself in the big scheme of things. Don't rush into anything. Don't jump into anything that you're not ready for. Don't rush yourself. Now, you have to maximize your time. So this is coming from my own personal experience. I was in a hurry to get nowhere fast. And I didn't, hindsight being 2020, I wasted so much time on a granular level. I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. If you add all of it up, I wasted so much time. So much time. Like truly, like it is frustrating how much time I wasted. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. A working year is roughly 2,100, 2,200 hours using American work standards. Technically 40 hours a week is 2,080 hours, so that's why I say 2,100, 2,200. So that's basically 5 years of work. Now, if I know for a fact, especially early on in my career, I was wasting hours a day, literally hours a day, that I could have been using to improve myself. And if I just look at it over the course of 1 year, let's say my first year of working, I was wasting so much time outside of work. If I had just taken 2 hours a day, because we know I wasn't sleeping 8 hours a day. I still don't sleep 8 hours a day. So I was, let's say on the deep end, I worked 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, 11 hours a day, 5 days a week. That left me 15 hours a day. I would probably slept 6 hours a day. So that leaves 9 hours. Let's just assume I only used 2 of those hours every day for an entire year. That's 1,000 hours of development, growth, improvement that I could have put into myself. And when I'm 23, 24, 22, I don't remember. If I had done that for a year, 2 years, 3 years before I was 25, I could have been halfway to an expert on something. It's mind-blowing. So at the same time that I'm saying don't rush yourself to get that, to try and do that thing that somebody said that they want to dangle in front of you, don't rush yourself. Maximize the opportunity and the time that you have right in front of you today, tomorrow, this week, next week. If you're in the program, put together the career development plan, implement the career development plan, reevaluate the career development plan in a couple of weeks, implement the career development plan, reevaluate the career development plan, and implement the career development plan. Keep it going. Take advantage and utilize the opportunity. I'm not suggesting everybody goes out there and dedicates, you're working full time, taking care of your family and dedicating 5 hours a day towards your development. No.
Right.
Whatever you're able to do, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 3 hours on the weekend, 2 hours on a Monday night, an hour on a Thursday night. Keep it consistent. Take advantage of that time. Because it's the thing, you're not going to get any back. You're not going to get it back. You're not going to get any more time back. You'll get more money. You'll get less money. You'll get more money. Time is time. You're never going to get any more time. It's gone. It's gone. That $250,000 job that you had to pass up on because you weren't ready, P. Rand, there'll be another $250,000 job. There will.
It will.
This reminds me of a student that can't remember his name. Oh, I can't remember his name. I actually made a joke about it because Alonzo knows my Best Buy jokes. Like if I keep going to Best Buy, people will get hired because every time I go to Best Buy, somebody gets hired. There was a guy. He needed to get a job. He needed to work. He had to work. He was in the program and he was like, okay, I need to take this job. So he took an engineering job. The engineering job fell through because of some paperwork stuff. And he was upset. He was devastated, rightfully so. Like he had the job, accepted, offer, everything, and fell through. Turns around 2 weeks later. He's got a better job, twice as good.
Yeah.
Don't rush yourself. It'll be there. It'll be there when you're ready for it. It'll be there. Alonzo, what's your next point?
Let's see. I think these two come into they're synonymous with each other. There's two things. It's going to be a two-pronged situation for us, Chris. Okay. One of the things is taking things personally.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. When you have feedback from your manager, or you have what sometimes you may be involved in, is what you call a skip level. A skip level is when you have a review of yourself, but also of your immediate manager by their manager. Okay. So there's a couple of things that are going to happen is that they're going to sing your praises, how you're meeting goals and everything else. But they're also going to flip it and talk about things that are, we wouldn't call them weaknesses. It could be a challenge. It could be a headwind. It could be anything that could range from your efforts to your performance, to your personality, to how you respond to stress. Don't take it personal, okay? And also a part of that is based off of what they've said, or maybe you might have had a faux pas, something that happened on your performance. You made a mistake. It cost the company a little bit of money. You missed out on an opportunity. Your mistakes do not define the future of your career, okay? So with these two things, let's break it down. Your feedback. Look at it as a learning opportunity, not as an attack on your character, an attack on who you are as a professional, a insult to your capabilities, or some sort of negative critique to what you bring, anything across the board. Take this as an opportunity to fill in those gaps. Look at and give an opportunity to really self-evaluating what you're really doing out there. Are you quiet quitting and you're not knowing it? Are you purposely quiet quitting and they just happen to call you out on it in a professional manner? What are you doing? What are you not doing? How are you getting it done? And to whom you're doing it to? Look at yourself. Analyze your performance. Analyze your value. Analyze what you're doing day to day. Are you taking too long on lunches? Let's be real here. Let's really look at, are you coming in late, leaving early? Are you a clock watcher?
I deserve to come in late.
Yeah, you're deserving. You're resting on your laurels. You're resting on the effort that you put on this project, or the overall outcome of a certification that you got. You feel you're entitled to a little leeway.
I deserve to come in late because I worked overtime the last 2 weeks.
Exactly. That is not for you to judge, because at the end of the day, you're putting in hours for a company that is paying you a salary, a bare minimum. This is not about what you did on your last project. And then again, it ties right into you're only as good as your last victory, your last performance. Doesn't matter. That was that. This is today. How are you continually bringing in value? Not on what you did last time, not justification on what you feel you're deserved and so forth. You see how everything that we're saying is a continuation, a facet of the overall subject that I'll share later on towards the end of our program about what I think this all is related to. So let's look at it. I talked about the feedback. They've identified some shortcomings. Your mistakes don't define your future. Look at it, internalize how you can be better, not the mistakes you made. How can I be a better value add, not only for this team, but for your future trajectory as a cloud architect or whatever you're trying to do? Always think about, am I only performing for the job I'm in, or am I performing for the job I want? If I'm not, what am I missing? Ask these questions on the skip level. Ask these questions on your review. How can I be better? What am I missing? Do I need more CXO relevancy? Do I need more presentation skills? Am I not getting to the point fast enough, or am I not communicating on the level that is needed to be considered a value add or in the top 10% of this group? What do I need to do? Personally, me, I don't take that as an insult. I take this as a personal challenge. I'm trying to shine up my career. There may be some areas that are not reflecting what I needed to do. I want it to look shiny. There's some dull areas. I want to know what that is, because I like the directness. I don't like someone just giving me pleasantries. I want to know exactly where I am, what people are thinking about me, or what value that I need to come to this table fully fortified with value, so that my seat is continually expect. I'm fighting for that seat. I'm always providing value for that seat, and I know that based off of where I'm going, that seat's going to be there because I'm working hard for it every day. I'm not sitting back. I did that already last quarter. So you owe me. There is no owe me, because they're giving you a salary every day. And then on top of that, it's not happening. Those rewards are coming in the form of commissions, bonuses, and stock options. So I just wanted to provide a little orbit, but we're going to get back to the centralized understanding of take feedback as a means to be better, and stop punishing yourself for the mistakes you made. And there's something that I learned early on in my career by one of my mentors. And they said, if you're going to fail big and fail early, because in those times, this is when they're expecting you to learn. Take that value, learn from your mentors, forgive yourself for the mistakes, learn from them, and then put it behind you. Don't think about it again. Okay. So these are the two things we want you to understand about your feedback. And it's not only applicable to the feedback that you may have at work, feedback in the program. Okay. Look at it. Look at your friends, your peers, your circle, folks that are in the same trajectory as you, as wanting to become a cloud security architect, cloud network architect, CIO, enterprise, or whatever it is. If they're telling you you need to brush up on it, don't ill consider it. Don't internalize it. Or even worse, don't even consider that what they're saying has some merit. Everything that you're surrounding yourself with, if someone is giving you constructive criticism, take it at face value, or at least analyze it, evaluate it. Is it applicable? If not, then there's got to be a reason as to why they're looking at you or feel that you can be improved in these areas. So make your mistakes. If you got to make them big, make them early. learn from them even faster than you made those mistakes, and always take constructive criticism and use that as building blocks to be better. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I don't think I can say much better than how you just put it there. I want to encourage you to keep going with the. You started talking about the mentor there at the end. Keep
Oh, yeah.
keep going with that. I know that's another one of your points there. So
Okay, yeah, finding mentorship, and this is a part of your networking. Again, this ties in to everything that we're talking about. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, that have more experience than you, that are in the same trajectory or in the same role that you yourself want to be in. Don't stagnate with people who are going to be an echo chamber for the things you already know. You're good. You're good, Alonzo. You're good, Chris. You're good at this. I wish I was more like that, or I X, Y, and Z. That is not helping you to grow. It's feeding an ego monster that you don't need, and it's not beneficial for you in the long run. So find people that you want to be like. Seek them out. Ask them questions. Network in your organization. Network on LinkedIn. Maybe even Slack. They may have more someone who's starting off wanting to be a CCIE. There's Mo, there's Imran. There's so many people who have these qualifications that you're looking for. Network with them. Ask them, how did they do it? How long did it take? What was the sacrifices they made? How can I learn from them? Or how can you learn from them? You're building a network. You're creating mentorship or opportunities for them to become a mentor for you. So seek out these people who you want to be like. Take nuggets from them and be able to fashion this wisdom to your own particular set of skills, so that you yourself can look back and be someone else's mentor. And this is a lot about how our program is. Advanced students go on to get the jobs, but they look back to the intermediate students who become the advanced students. The middle to advanced look back, and the ones who are new become the middle students, and those who are on ramping onto the program become the brand new ones. It's a cycle of life. So being a part of that by learning and giving back is what's going to make you grow as a professional.
yeah, absolutely. I really wish that I had known earlier the value of a mentor.
Yes.
That and it's going to go all the way back to the very first thing that I pointed out is I don't have to know everything.
Right.
Because I felt like I needed to know everything. I wasn't even open to the concept that I could learn from someone else.
Yes.
And let alone learn from their experiences. Like, that was a foreign concept to me. But I really wish that I had learned the value of mentorship early on. And it's crazy because I understood the idea of someone to look up to and someone to emulate, or someone to be like, or someone to I like their qualities, but apparently I was so closed off to the idea of being able to actually learn from someone else that I wasn't able to take it that step farther. And
Right.
most people are able to are like that. Like, a lot of people have that same, I guess you would call it, block, like I do. It's like, yeah, I got people that I look up to. I got people that I admire. But don't take it that step further of, that could be a mentor. Oh, there can be a relationship here. I can learn from them. I can ask them questions. They
Yeah,
can
I
learn from
agree.
me.
Yeah,
They can learn from me. The mentor learns from the mentee also. I didn't know that.
exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had no clue. I didn't know. I did not know at all. And so the idea of mentorship and finding a mentor is absolutely one of the best ideas
Yeah.
that I've ever come across.
And it helps to solve one of the things that you've seen others do, Chris, and that is compare themselves to others.
Oh, yeah, now you're stealing off of my list. Yes. So, okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this one. So, we every day you all hear about imposter syndrome. So what I'm going to talk about here is, and what we're going to talk about here is the version of imposter syndrome that comes from comparing yourself to others the wrong way. And what that means is, if you're going to compare yourself, make sure it's a correct comparison. Make sure it's an apples to apples comparison. What we see so often, and I didn't see it, like I didn't know that this was a thing until I started to see other people doing it. People are comparing. People will compare themselves to the most ridiculous examples, of comparison. So and I'm going to boil it down to our program. That's the simplest way for me to boil it down. If you just enrolled in our program and you've literally just started and you've not ever exposed yourself to tech other than calling the help desk and being asked, can you turn it on and off again? And they ask you if you've unplugged it and plugged it back in, and you lie and say, yes, I did that. If that's all your exposure is to tech and you've just started the program, don't compare yourself to somebody that's been in the program for a year. Don't compare yourself to the person that you saw just come on the Slack and say, hey, I passed the interview, I got the job. No. Do not compare yourself to that person. That person is not comparable to you. Just don't do it. You know who to compare yourself to? The other person that just started at the exact same time as you, has the exact same background as you, the exact same experience in you, and exact same technical competency in you. Oh, and also learns exactly the same way as you, and also can commit the exact same type of commitment to learning as you. And they also have the exact same types of obligations and interruptions that you will encounter over the same period of time. That's who you should compare yourself to. Does that person exist? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go around comparing yourself to people that are not comparable. And right. I know I sound really harsh about this, but it all goes back to worrying about your mindset and like the state that you'll put yourself into. Just like how I was talking earlier about, don't fall into the trap of feeling like you're owed or you deserve XYZ. Right. It's the same thing. I don't want people to get into this state of mind that will then get them negative and get them resentful and get them discouraged and get them downtrodden. I don't want that. And that's what happens when you compare yourself to someone that is incomparable. And a lot of the times people are comparing themselves to an avatar that doesn't even exist. The thing that they're comparing themselves to doesn't exist. Okay.
Yeah. That's good. But you know what? Also,
let me get off my soapbox.
It's really relevant because when you compare yourself to others the wrong way, you're inadvertently creating a race against them. And it's a lot like traffic. And I love how traffic reflects things about life. I see so many people get aggravated when people get in front of them on a natural and legal lane change in front of them. And they feel like they're being inhibited and like they got in my way. But it's not a race. You all are not trying to get to the same destination. They're trying to go with the flow of traffic like anyone else, just like this program. So don't compare yourself. They're further along. They may have different goals than you. They may have different aspirations. If you focus on the work, and I tell you the program works if you do 1 hour, 2 hours a day, every day until you get the concepts right, until you're able to articulate what they do, how they work, when you would use them, how this overall technology, networking, hardware, software, all is created or how it's implemented within an architecture, and be willing and have the capability to explain its benefits from a business transformative application, we know you're ready. Then we'll start moving you on to other aspects of the program. But if you're not there, don't ignore your gaps. Don't focus on what you do know, focus on what you don't, so that you're going to be ready to go when it's time for your job, when it's time for you to say X, Y, and Z. We'd like to offer you a position. That's when you know you're ready. That's when you know you've made it. So just make sure, okay?
Yeah, and Telvon comes in here with the straw man. That's something hard to break, especially when you grow up playing sports. Yeah, I get it. 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 But guess what? This ain't the Super Bowl.
Nope.
We're not handing out one trophy and then another one next year.
And look at
how many jobs? Let's just look at the cloud architect. How many cloud architect jobs are there out there? Thousands and 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 thousands. So, yeah, you want to be competitive? Great. Compete with yourself. Compete with yourself. Set your goals and your expectations and beat them. Don't create this avatar of somebody that's unrealistic. So, there's two more things that I want to get to. I want to ask people if you've got any questions. Well, of course, we want to be able to take care of any questions that you've got. So, if you've got any questions, you can be putting them in the chat box. But there's a couple of more that, and I'm gonna reiterate. I understand that all of these, to a lot of you, probably sound like, yeah, but I don't have the luxury. Yeah, but I can't take that. I can't do that. I don't have the opportunity to be able to do that. Yes, every single one of these, you do. And these are why this is called things that we wish we knew back then, because we had to learn that, oh yeah, I could have done that. Yeah, I could have. Because at the time, either A, we didn't realize them, or B, we didn't think we had the luxury. Like, I didn't think I had the luxury to say no. But I do. It's not a luxury. It's the ability. It's the ability to say no. I thought that I didn't have the luxury to value myself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I got the luxury to value myself.
Yeah.
I have the obligation to value myself. I have the obligation to know my worth. I didn't think I had the ability to say I don't know everything. I didn't think I had that luxury. Yes, I've got that luxury. I had that thought process when I was getting paid $36,000 a year. Way back when. That was my thought process. I thought I had to know everything. $36,000 a year in the United States at that time was not a lot of money, and still is not a lot of money. But I had that thought process. I understand that that's a lot of money in a lot of places in the world, but where I was at that time, it wasn't. And so I'm just using that as an example that even when I wasn't earning on the average, I was below the average. Even then, I thought that I had to know everything. Oh, what? If I knew everything, they wouldn't be paying me that. They'd be paying me 500 times that. So I understand that it may seem like these are things that are a luxury, but no, they're not. They're important things to to realize and utilize and do. So these next couple of things, job hopping. So used to be that people would stay with a company forever. They would retire and they would get the golden watch or the whatever. It used to be they were well taken care of by the companies and the organizations. The companies and the organizations had pensions, private pensions, and all that stuff. So you stayed. Great. It's not the case anymore. We got 401ks that move around with you. You don't have to stay with, like, auto manufacturers are the best examples. Man, those back in the day, you stayed with them for 20 years, you were golden.
Golden.
And literally there's golden parachute, you're good. Yeah. But now it's not as incentivized as it used to be. So I'm not suggesting you got to stay somewhere forever. What I am suggesting is that it is absolutely detrimental. And this isn't one that I've dealt with personally, but I see it so often. It is detrimental if you have a track record of job hopping.
Yeah.
It catches up with you. And I'm not saying that you jump around every 3, 4, 5 years. That's become the norm. That has in today's day and age. But if you've got a 5-year work history and 16 jobs, that's an issue. If you've got a 5-year work history and you've got 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Maybe an issue. We're on the verge of an issue. Depending on how the resume looks, if it's like, okay, shows my graduation year was 2000. I've had 5 jobs since 2018 to 2003. Okay, so had some jobs while I was in college and had 3 big boy jobs, 3 real jobs out of college. And they show a natural progression and growth. Okay, not an issue. But if it just looks like the same type of job, 5 jobs in 5 years, same type of job, same level, same everything, that's an issue.
Yeah.
So, and this is one that a lot of people could perceive as a luxury. But I always suggest, if you are in a position where all of your expenses are covered and you are comfortable, don't chase the quarter. Simple as that. You're comfortable, especially if you're young and early in your career, because that's the basis I'm taking this from. If you're early in your career, especially if you're young, you're comfortable, expenses are taken care of. Don't keep chasing the quarter. Stay in a position for a period of time. Become that anomaly that's like, oh, they stayed somewhere for 3 years. Wow. Okay. Let me take a look at this. I know 3 years seems like a lifetime. But just something to think about. You don't have to. Don't have to take it. You can say no. The other thing that I want to put out there that I really wish that I had known earlier. This goes into my time thing that I wish that I had taken advantage of my time. Save your money.
Yes.
Let's get away from the careers. I'm going to close it on a personal note here. Save your money.
Couldn't have said it better.
Save your money. Don't invest your money until you've saved your money. Save your money, then invest your money, but not the money that you saved. Keep that saved money saved. Got that saved money there, then invest the money. just I can't.
Can't underscore it enough.
I can't underscore it enough. There were so many restarts early in my career, like personal financial restarts early in my career. That's the best way for me to explain it. Was like it's like, oh man, I wish I'd have saved.
Yeah, don't leave money on the table, especially if your organization is willing to vest along with your 401k as early as 6 months.
Yeah.
Jump on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm taking for granted here that you're doing the 401k. I'm talking about that take-home paycheck.
Yeah, don't blow it. Please don't.
Like write a check every month to yourself and another bank account. Like save. Like if that's what you got to do to save money. It will pay dividends. Not only will you be comfortable in the event that something happens. Use my wife for an example. Monday, she had to have a cap, a crown, a something. I don't know. She broke her tooth basically, and at that crazy amount of out of pocket expense because the insurance only covered so much. Saving is a good thing for that because boom, you're able to take care of that and it doesn't hurt you. And so I'm not saying save $1,000 a month or something. If you're not earning enough to save $1,000 a month, don't save $1,000 a month. Save what you can. If it's $10 every week, save $10 a week. If it's $100 a week, it's $100 a week. If it's $50 a month, it's $50 a month. Just save money. Put money away. I really wish that I had known that one earlier. I wouldn't have had as many financial restarts. And the less financial restarts that you have, the better you'll be when you're my age.
Yeah.
Or Alonso's age. Or Alonso's age. So I could have a whole discussion. Like I would turn into Dave Ramsey, probably. But yeah, saving. So like I said, I wanted to end it in mine on that personal note of save your money.
Yeah.
Like it's fun to spend your money, but save some too. So Alonso, any last words here before we see if we got anything here in the chat box?
No, I think I think we spent a lot of good time. I hope there were a lot of takeaways from everyone to apply what we've shared, what we wish we had, what we've learned today, and what you can avoid. Hope you wrote it down. If not, this will be available for recording after we're done for you to peruse and review moving forward. But yeah, I think we tackled a lot of great nuggets here that would be valuable for a lot of our young aspirants, as well as those my age who are just now starting in the cloud architectural realm and how they can move forward. So I hope everyone learned from it.
All right. So we got a question from Test SOC. I'm going to ask Tyrone to put the link to Thursday's webinar in the chat box for Test SOC. I want to make sure that he or she has the opportunity to come to our webinar on Thursday that we'll do on Zoom. But they say, I want to become a cloud security architect. Is it necessary to travel frequently? I would like to have a remote job in order to stay with the family. Do we get remote jobs for cloud security architect? It depends. It's my favorite answer. If you've been with us, any of you that have followed along long enough knows that's my favorite answer. It depends. And I'm serious. It depends. Yes, there's fully remote jobs. There's hybrid remote that require travel. If maybe the company embraces a fully remote opportunity. I've seen them out there. But a lot of them do require travel. Maybe traveling to the client, maybe traveling to the headquarters of your company, maybe traveling to the local corporate offices, maybe full-time work in the office, maybe 50-50, maybe 70-30, maybe 30-70, maybe fully remote. It just depends. But yeah, they're out there. But I invite you to come to that webinar on Thursday. Igor says says, I'm listening and I'm walking. Now I don't know where I am. Get lost on the walks, Igor. Luckily, in this modern age, we got GPS on our phones. Otherwise, you might be in trouble.
Follow the breadcrumbs. Let's reverse this. let's reverse engineer this, Igor.
Yeah. Chigazor says, thank you for all the good advice. Really appreciate the work and time you pour into us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Turk Dent Clinic says, how old are you, Chris? All right. So let's put it in the chat box. How old is Chris? Let's put it in the chat box. We'll see. We'll see what we come up with. Derek says, save to spend on things that will make you more money. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also things that you'll enjoy, you know. Don't be a miser completely.
Yeah, just prepare for the future. Okay.
Silence Poet says, just wanted to say thank you both, and I truly enjoyed the program. It's part of how I got my new job, and eventually I'll become a cloud security architect.
We know you will. Awesome.
Derek says, I'm starting my cloud architect at an advanced stage. Derek, I'm sure you could have done just as great of an episode of what you wish you had known earlier in your career. Val says, great stuff as always, Chris and Alonzo.
Yeah.
These nuggets will not only make us great professionals, but great people in life too. All right.
Thanks, Greg.
Lots of thanks. Nobody's wanting to guess my age, apparently. So
they know that you're great in their work, Chris.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to sign off for the day, but I do want to remind everybody of a few things. Oh, here we go. We got some guesses coming in. We got 32, 37, 37, 39, 36, 37, 36, 37, 34, 35.
See an average here.
My answer is yes.
Well said.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes to everything. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Right. Exactly.
I will answer to them all.
Yeah. So, all right. So I want to remind everybody that we've got the 95. Yes. Wisdom comes with that one. So we've got our free Why Tech Skills Aren't Enough guide. Tyrone's got that link in the chat box for you here in just a few minutes. Also, we've got our Cloud Architecture Design Challenge on Tuesday, October 24th. Tyrone will put that link in the chat box as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this show. Thank you. Thank you very much. We will see all of you next week, or we will see you on the webinar on Thursday, or we will see you in class, or we will see you in Orlando. Whichever one. Maybe we see you in all of them. Who knows?
That would be awesome.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Have a good one.